Today I'm going to be doing a review for The Girl in 6E by A.R. Toole. The first part of this video is going to be spoiler free, so if you haven't read the book you can stay. But eventually I do want to start talking about specific things, so if you haven't read the book you're going to have to piss off, I'm sorry. So this is the first book in a trilogy, I found out. I thought it was a standalone, it isn't. Am I going to read the others? No. So it's labeled as an erotic thriller. So, you know, if you're quite young, don't read this book. If you don't know anything about this book, it's basically about this girl called Deanna Madden, and she lives in apartment 6E. She hasn't left her apartment in 3 years because she has strong urges to murder people. She's a bit of a psychopath. So she locks herself away in her apartment for the safety of others. You know, she's a killer with a conscience. It is mentioned that she has killed somebody in the past, which is probably the incentive for her actually locking herself away. It's also kind of suggested that she has an urge to kill people due to her traumatic past. It's mentioned early on in the book, this isn't a spoiler, that her mother killed her entire family, except for Deanna. She sent Deanna away to her grandparents' house and then killed the entire family. In order to survive, she works as a cam girl, like full time. She pretty much just does camming all day, and that's how she like generates money for her to survive. Since she never leaves the house, she basically has time to cam all the fucking time, and she's constantly on the site. And because of this, she's managed to become one of the top 3 cam girls on the site. So she makes a lot of money off this, being able to buy a lot of equipment to like make her streams better. So she's got like state-of-the-art, top-notch motherfucking everything, like cameras, lighting. She's just like built a studio in her apartment, and so she has half of the apartment dedicated to camming, and then the other half is just like her average, sad, undecorated, just filled with supplies. Basically, that's the kind of setup she's living in. So basically, all the things she needs for day-to-day life, she buys online, and her delivery guy knows by now to leave the packages at her door, and that if something requires signing, he'll just sign it for her because he knows she's not going to open the door for anything. She basically pays her neighbor in prescription pills for him to lock her in her apartment at nighttime, because that's when her urges become like more strong. She wants to go out and kill someone. I don't know how realistic this is, but it was really interesting hearing about how she manages to not leave her house for anything. So Deanna has all these clients. It explains how she does it. She'll be streaming on the site, and then people can request to take her to a private chat. She has like a bunch of regular clients. Basically, one of her clients starts demonstrating behavior that starts to worry her. I'm just gonna leave it at that. For those of you who haven't read the book and you want to read the book and not be spoiled for anything, I would suggest just not watching the rest of this video and just go read it. So now I'm gonna talk about a few more details. It's still not really spoilery, but if you don't want to be spoiled for anything, I'd leave now. Okay. Literally 2 pages into this book, and it's already extremely graphic. Oh, I see, this is how we're gonna fucking play, huh? So that was a bit of a shock, not gonna lie. It was really interesting hearing the breakdown of how she makes her money and how it all works, like the logistics behind it. She charges basically $7 a minute, which is a lot when you think about it. The cam site only pays her 28% of each session, I guess, like how much money she makes. The cam site only pays her 28%, which is fucking ridiculous. And the fact that she still manages to make anywhere from 30 to 55 grand a month, which I think is fucking crazy. One thing that I thought was really interesting is how the book goes into the different types of like fetishes that there are, and like gives examples through like some of Deanna's clients. And it was, I don't know, it was really informative. It was like strange. And I don't know why I ever needed to know as much about fetishes as I do know now. It was interesting, I guess, to learn about. Granted, some of the clients are ridiculous in the sense that like she's struck up these friendships with some of her clients. One of her clients is like a really, really good hacker. He's like an amazing hacker, can break into almost fucking anything. She basically like gets him to upgrade her entire security system and her firewalls and all that shit. The thing that was fucking stupid about that, later on, she's like shocked and confused that he knows where she lives. And she's like, how do you know where I live and what apartment? And he's like, this whole time you've known that I could hack into your computer and like update your security systems for you and all this shit, but you had no idea that I would also know where you live. Like, so dumb. She has that, and then I think also one of her clients is a doctor, gives her like free medical advice, I guess. I don't know. This book also makes some really good points about like how she makes so much money, but because she has nowhere to go and like no one to see, it's basically worthless. It's not like she's gonna buy a fancy car or a fancy house, because like it's not like she's gonna fucking drive anywhere. She's got everything she needs. She has more than enough money to like pay her bills and her utilities and stuff like that. She talks about how she buys this really expensive dress that she's always wanted, and then she puts it on and it makes her feel sad because she realizes that she's got nowhere to wear it. And the dress only reminds her of this life that she'll never have. And looking at the dress just like upsets her rather than like makes her feel pretty. She's been like prescribed really strong drugs to help like combat her urges to kill people. But she talks about how like the medication doesn't really help her, because although it gets rid of her like need to kill people, it also turns her into a mindless zombie and she's not really experiencing anything to the fullest extent. So she makes the decision to stop using the drugs and like continue to live with these like urges to kill people. Ultimately, she decides she'd rather live her life as is, but experience everything fully. Would you rather like actually be present and experience things fully, but not be able to go into society? Or would you rather get to live a normal life except you're basically on autopilot the entire time? Like, it's basically like pick your poison. They're both shit options. There was one part in this book where she says, "I hate my former self. I hate her selfishness and her lack of appreciation for her perfect suburban life. I had everything in the palm of my perfect lazy hand and didn't even realize it." Which goes to show that you really don't appreciate what you have until it's gone. And I think that was a really good point that this book makes. Okay, so I want to start talking about some more spoilery things. So if you haven't read the book, you're gonna get spoiled. There's one thing that I want to talk about that I got really confused by. And I'm not sure whether this is like a plot hole or if there's just something that I'm missing and that I'm just like a fucking idiot and it went over my head. But in the beginning of the book, it's basically stated that Deanna's mum kills the family. And like Deanna says this herself. And then later in the book, Deanna reveals that like that night she snuck out of her grandparents' house to go to a party. And then she planned on dropping by her family's house to pick up like this green dress that she wanted to wear. Anyway, so in a later flashback, Deanna went back to her house and killed her mum. There are a couple things that I don't understand. What I don't get is like, did Deanna kill the family too? Or did she just kill the mum? Or did the mum kill the family, Deanna walks in and then kills the mum? Like, is that how? I don't understand. It didn't explain anything in that aspect. It just said Deanna stood over her mum's dead body in like a flashback. I'm like, surprise, Deanna's the one that killed the mum. But like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. What's confusing is like, this whole time, Deanna has been saying that her mum killed the family. The book is written in first person. So when it's said that like, my mum killed my family, it's not like she's saying it to someone, she's just lying to them. It's like she's saying it in her head as a narrator. I don't understand. If this whole time she knew that she killed the mum, why is it recounting? It just doesn't add up. I don't even know if I explained this well enough, but like, can we talk about this delivery guy for a second? She has this delivery guy called Jeremy, who's very fascinated by her because she's never once opened the door to him. She's very mysterious. I can understand why he would be so fascinated. He ends up being the first person that she has like face-to-face contact with in over 3 years. And of course, she attempts to kill him. So you know how she has this rule set up that like, I'm not gonna lock my door because if someone comes into my apartment, they obviously had ill intentions. I'm just defending myself. So that's basically the logic she has set up, and that's basically her excuse. Like, that's the only circumstance in which she'll allow herself to kill someone. So Jeremy comes in because he's worried about her, because he knocks, and every other time she responds, this time she doesn't respond. I don't remember what he heard. I think he hears like a smash, and so he's like, fuck, like, is she okay? So he breaks in, and then she decides to like make a runner for his knife, snatches his box cutters and like tries to cut his throat with it. She's so hell-bent on like, I'm a psychotic murderer. If I wanted to kill someone, I would. Are you physically capable of doing it? Probably not. It was funny to see the first time she tries to kill Jeremy that he just easily overpowered her. She wasn't successful at killing him at all. She obviously has a warped idea of like physical strength. If she's gonna try and kill a 6 foot whatever the fuck built like a truck man, and then this little pissweak bitch is gonna try and fucking jump them and kill them, like, Probably not gonna happen. There is the risk of being overpowered by someone, and she obviously doesn't think about that or consider that at all. Anyway, so that's her encounter with him. That's fucked. 2 seconds. She goes from like, I'm gonna kill this guy and I'm gonna like cut his throat with box cutters, to just, she wants to fuck this guy now. I know it's been a while, but like, fuck, you just went from wanting to kill someone to like, and you know what I don't understand even more? The fact that Jeremy, 2 seconds ago, this bitch ran at him with box cutters and tries to kill him. Now he wants to fuck her. Like, what? In what universe would that happen? In what person's sane mind do they nearly get killed and like, let's get it on with this strange bitch who just tried to murder me? Oh my god. How? Jeremy deserves to die. If you're gonna be that much of a fucking idiot, you deserve to die. And we'll get back to Jeremy because there's something else I want to discuss about him later. But I want to talk about this Ralph guy. If you haven't actually read the book and you're just like watching this for the fuck of it, you're not really going to understand what's going on. I'll briefly explain because I know a few people have said that they just watch the review even though they haven't read the book. So I'll explain this for you guys. One of the guys that she regularly has like private cam sessions with, his name's Ralph. It becomes quite obvious that he's a child predator. He keeps mentioning the name Annie over and over again throughout all of their interactions. He always wants her to pretend that her name is Annie, which is a bit weird and very specific. Basically, Deanna sees on the news one day that this little girl called Annie has gone missing. She very quickly puts 2 and 2 together. She gets her hacker friend, she gets him to trace his IP address and like figure out where he's from, what his name is, where he lives, all that shit. And she basically traces him back to this like one, I guess it's a trailer park where they all live. And then he also has another property, which is like there's like a little shed out the back. And she figures out that that's where Annie's being kept. The hacker actually finds out that Annie is this Ralph guy's niece. She leaves the house for the first time in 3 years to go rescue this girl. Why she decided to take matters into her own hands instead of just alerting the authorities and saying like, I know where Annie's being held, like why you wouldn't just do that is beyond me, but disregard that. That's basically the backstory of what happens with the ending. In order to get to this place, she needs a car. The fact that this Jeremy guy, he's supposed to be like a normal dude. So the fact that he lets this random chick who previously tried to kill him take his car and she just drives away with it. No questions asked, because she'll be right back. You've got to be a fucking moron. Like you, honestly, this is the kind of guy who deserves to get his car stolen because you've got to be a fucking idiot. So she gets to the shed. This is the part that actually annoyed me. Everything else in the book, I pretty much just laughed at how dumb it was, but this is the only part that like genuinely I was frustrated. She gets to this shed. She finds Annie. Perfectly fine, right? Annie isn't harmed at all, like nothing's happened to her yet. She's just locked in this shed because like police are out looking for her. She's just sitting there waiting for Ralph to come back and she has no idea what's going on. She rescues Annie without any struggle at all. It's almost too good to be true how smoothly this rescue went. Gets her in her car and they're literally driving away. Like every second I was like, okay, they're gonna get caught. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. They're driving out. So they're like driving out of the street and they're turning this way and Ralph is like turning in. And so their cars are literally like that. And she sees him about to turn into the street. And like he didn't recognize her, he didn't see Annie. He just turns in, starts heading towards the property. She, in that moment, could have so easily just driven off with Annie, taken her back to the police and her family, and told them, and Annie could have said like, it was the uncle who took me. So easily. But Deanna, no, this is my chance. Like I've got to go back and kill this guy because like my urge to kill is so strong. She literally drives back with Annie to the property and makes her wait on the steps as she like goes out the back to the shed to kill this guy. And she gives Annie her phone and is like, call the police if I'm not back in 15 minutes and tell them where you are and who's taken you. And the girl's like, don't leave me. And she's like, no, I'll be right back. So dumb that she like leaves Annie out in the open because she didn't think that like, if I get overpowered by this guy and I don't manage to kill him, which by the way is very fucking likely considering that Jeremy overpowered her just beforehand and she wasn't strong enough to kill him. Even after that happening, she still thinks she's gonna be able to take down this like 6'2" massive fucking guy. And she thinks like, yeah, I'm gonna kill him. In what universe, bitch? She goes into this shed, sees him. What happens? He just knocks her on the head with a brick and she just gets knocked out. Like, and then she wakes up and he's like sitting on top of her, I think. And then she's like, fuck it, it's too dangerous now. I'm just gonna have to do it the easy way, and shoots him and then cuts his throat. I have a bit to say on this, okay? I hated the fact that like it still worked out in the end, because I think if that had happened and she'd selfishly gone back because, you know, she wanted to murder this guy and put her own murderous urges before the safety of this girl, this innocent little girl, even though it wouldn't have been a happy ending, I honestly feel like this book would have had a better message and made a better point if, because of that, she got overpowered because she ignored the fact that like she got overpowered in the past and that she's not actually strong enough and she got ahead of herself, and that led to like Annie actually getting hurt. It's fucked for me to be like, this would have been a better ending, but think about it. Like the fact that she was so selfish, gets overpowered, and then it still works out for her in the end. Fuck off. Fuck right off with that. Like, no way. But, you know, what ends up happening is, even though she gets knocked out and overpowered, she still magically is able to kill this guy. Then she goes back, gets Annie, drops her off to her parents, and it's all fucking happy days. And the guy's murdered, and Annie's safe. And like, oh, how lovely, like what a good ending. Honestly, it pissed me off that there was a happy ending after her being such a selfish bitch about it. Yeah, it's horrible. I mean, like, of course you wouldn't want anything to end up happening to this little girl because like she did nothing wrong. But like, Deanna, just such a fucking idiot, and then it all works out in the end and she's a hero. Like, I hate you. I don't know. See, the thing is, I want to hate this book. How fucking dumb the ending, the shit with Jeremy is. The entire character of Jeremy is just a fucking joke, to be honest. How she even lives is a bit questionable, like whether that's actually realistic, but I'm just gonna bypass that for now. There's a whole bunch of shit that like is wrong about this book, and there's a lot of flaws. I think it was written well in the sense that like I still wanted to read it, and you know, and I kept wanting to turn the pages because I wanted to know what happened, and it was very captivating. This is a book that I like and dislike at the same time for different reasons. Tell me what you thought about the book. Thank you so much for watching. That's it for this video. I will see you next time. Goodbye.